She expected the human to eat her, but he did the exact opposite. The cell was cold. Kira pulled her chains tighter around herself, though they offered no warmth. Her scales, usually glimmering emerald, had dulled under days of fear and hunger. She was the last of her squadron, captured when their shuttle went down in the wastes of Terra, the Death World. And now she awaited the inevitable. The human. Her people whispered about them in legends, hairless predators who devoured flesh raw, whose teeth tore through bone, whose cunning had made even the strongest species fall back in dread. They were spoken of as monsters, not beings. And she, Kira of the Valari Guard, was chained in a human den. She heard the creak of metal. The door opened. He stepped inside. Tall, broad-shouldered. His eyes caught the faint light, blue like the ocean she had only ever seen in Holos. His expression was unreadable as he carried something in his hands. A tray. Her claws flexed. The chains rattled. This was it. The meal. She shut her eyes, expecting fangs, expecting agony. But instead, a soft clink. The tray settled on the floor before her. The scent that rose was not blood, but something warm, spiced, rich. Her eyes snapped open. The human crouched, sliding the tray toward her. Steam curled from a bowl of cooked grain, slices of fruit, and water. Clear, clean water. Kira blinked. Her voice rasped. "You are not eating me?" The man frowned slightly, as though the thought offended him. "Eat you? No. You need food." The stranger. He didn't touch her. Didn't move closer. He only sat cross-legged across the cell, leaving the food within reach. "My name's Daniel," he said after a moment. His voice was steady, deep. "I'm not your enemy." Kira hissed softly, though more from confusion than defiance. "Humans devour. That is what we were told." His lips quirked upward in something that wasn't quite amusement. "Not this one." 4 hours, she resisted. But hunger gnawed at her. Finally, when he turned his gaze away, she dipped her claws into the grain and ate. It was soft, warm, nothing like the raw flesh she had braced herself for. The fruit was tart, sweet, filling. When she finished, Daniel collected the empty tray without a word and left. She sat in the silence, more unsettled than before. Because he had done the exact opposite of what she feared. Days of kindness. He returned the next day. And the next. Always with food. Always keeping his distance. Sometimes he spoke little things. Asking her name. Telling her pieces of his world outside the steel walls. She ignored him at first. But curiosity gnawed at her as much as hunger. Finally, one day she answered. "Kira," she said, voice low. He smiled faintly. "Kira. That's a strong name." She hated the way her heart lurched. Over time, she learned pieces of him. He was not a soldier, not a slaver. He was a healer of sorts, part of a relief group that tended to survivors of the constant border skirmishes between their peoples. He had found her half dead in the wreckage and carried her here. "You saved me," she asked one night, incredulous. "You're alive," he answered simply. "That's what matters." "But I am Valari. Your people call us enemies." He met her eyes, unflinching. "I don't believe in enemies. Just people worth saving." Her breath caught. The fracture. But not all humans were like him. One evening, Daniel came later than usual, his face grim. His shirt was stained with blood, human blood. "What happened?" she demanded, alarm cutting through her guardedness. "Raiders," he muttered. "Some of my people don't want you here. They think keeping you alive is a waste." Fear chilled her. "Then why do you risk it?" He hesitated, then knelt so his gaze was level with hers. "Because I see you, Kira. Not a monster. Not prey. Just someone who deserves a chance to live. She swallowed hard. Her claws trembled against the chains. No one in her life, had ever spoken to her like that. The escape. It couldn't last. The raiders came in the night, storming the outpost with fire and steel. Kira awoke to the roar of alarms, the clash of gunfire. Her chains rattled as she struggled, panic surging. Then Daniel burst in, breathless, a key in his hand. "Come on!" He unlocked her chains. For the first time, she stood unbound before him, free to strike, to flee, to end him. Instead, she grabbed his arm. "This way." Together, they ran through burning corridors. Twice she pulled him from death, once dragging him down as plasma fire scorched overhead, once hurling a raider aside with her claws. Finally, they burst into the night, smoke choking the stars. The desert stretched wide before them. Daniel doubled over, coughing. "We need to move. Get to the ridges." But Kira turned, eyes burning. "Why? Why save me?" His answer was ragged, raw. "Because you deserve more than fear. More than chains. Because you matter to me." Her chest tightened painfully. She had been raised to believe humans were monsters. But this man, this strange, fragile man, had shown her a truth sharper than any blade. The bond. They survived the night. And the next. Hiding in caves, scavenging what they could, sharing food, sharing warmth. As days blurred into weeks, Kira felt the walls she had built her whole life begin to crack. Daniel's kindness was relentless, his humor quiet but steady, his determination unyielding. One night, beneath the fractured light of Terra's moons, she whispered, "I thought you would eat me." He chuckled softly, shaking his head. "Instead, I gave you fruit." Her gaze lingered on him. "And now, I think you've consumed something greater." He frowned. "What do you mean?" "My heart," she whispered. Silence stretched. His eyes widened, then softened. He reached out, hesitant, trembling, and touched her clawed hand. "I think you've taken mine too." Epilogue. The opposite of fear. Months later, when peace talks finally came, the first image broadcast across both species was startling. A Valari warrior and a human healer, standing side by side, their hands clasped. For Kira, it was proof that not all humans were monsters. For Daniel, it was proof that kindness could rewrite legends. And for them both, it was the truth they had discovered in the darkest cell. That where she had expected hunger and death, she had instead found compassion. Where she had braced for the end, she had instead found the beginning. She expected the human to eat her. But he had done the exact opposite. He had saved her.